各位观众，我们今天非常荣幸，我们请到 Harris County 的郡长啊，这个 Mr. Cagle 先生到我们的现场来。Welcome, Mr. Commissioner. Such an honor to welcome you to our TV studio.
The honor is mine to be here with you, Weilei, and in this magnificent studio with all of the different international communities that you reach and talk to. I have been delighted to be able to see that you are in print in many languages, reaching many communities. And so thank you for that service that you render to our communities.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. I'm as the chairman of International Management District for last more than 15 years. We have two issues we really concern. Number one is a safety issue. See, we've been here, many new businessmen moved to this area on Bel Air Boulevard, Chinatown. Really, could you tell us what you can do for our community when you to be elected to be a commissioner again?
Due to redistricting, I've only had the privilege of serving in this area since about March 30th.
That's right.
But the first thing that we did is we started to talk to community leaders like yourself. What are the issues? And we did a poll. And we found out the number one issue for everybody is safety, public safety. And so there are a number of things that we can try to do in that. One of which is to adequately fund our law enforcement officers. There are not enough cops. We know that if there's a police officer on the street corner, that the bad guy is going to go somewhere else. It's like the lights in a house. If the lights are on, the pests run away. And so one of the things that we did immediately is transfer out of my budget $1 million to one of our constables to help hotspot. Number two, we need to get more funding in Commissioner's Court to our local law enforcement. It's an old concept, as old as the Great Khan, who, if you want to have commerce, he had to have safe roads. And I read Marco Polo. Of course, he was an Italian. That's where we get spaghetti is actually from China, from his journey. But in his book, back in the 1200s, he went to see the Great Khan, and he was able to say that the reason why the Great Khan was so successful economically was because it was safe to do business through the entire region. And if we want to have business to be successful here, we need to get rid of the crime. You can't conduct business if you're worried that someone's going to take your profit. And as a lady at an event I was at the other night in your home, she said that her goal was to be able to go to the restaurant and to be able to wear her jewelry.
That's right.
But if she's too afraid to even go to a restaurant to wear her jewelry, that's going to hurt the restaurant. Fewer customers, because that lady's going to go somewhere else. So we need to invest in crime. There are a number of things. Increase the budget for law enforcement. Two, we need to stop this craziness of cutting the criminals loose. If we catch them, we need to keep them.
In jail.
If they commit the crime, they should do the time. Not this pinky swear. And Commissioner's Court can help pass policies to try to improve that. And so we need to if they commit the crime, we catch them, we keep them. If they commit, fair trial, we need to increase the number of law officers that are on the street. And then there's some other things that we can do that we're working with the International District on some pilot projects of maybe some cameras. And some, when you're on a college campus, they have the little lighting. And with the little camera, and so if there's a problem, you can push the button, and you have an alarm, but there's also someone watching, and so the criminals don't come close to where that is because they know that they could be caught. And so we will be starting some pilot projects with you and the International District and with our other communities to see, can we invest in that kind of technology to make our areas safer?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Another issue is that talking about business promotion. You see, as you know, about if you look at 20-some years ago on Bel Air Boulevard, it's not much going on. But today, we just fill it out all kind of small business. I mean, this is a good sign. We become one of the brightest economic spots in the city of Houston, if you look at it. So could you tell us how you can continue helping promote the business in this region?
Well, one of the things is that whenever you're starting a new small business, you're going to either build something out, you have permits you have to deal with. 832-927-4444.
Okay.
832-927-4444.
Okay.
So if you have a question about your permits, or if you have a question about
call that number.
Call that number. Or if you have a question with regard to maybe the fire marshal's office, or a question concerning if you're a restaurant, what are the health codes? Although we are not necessarily directly responsible for those issues, that number, Precinct 4 number, 832-927-4444, Precinct 444, we will have someone that will help the small business to navigate those problems on making sure. We've done a number of programming, working with the small businesses and here with some of the community associations of trying to teach folks. If you're a restaurant, these are the criteria you have to follow, because it's so much easier to go to a little class beforehand and learn. This is what you need to do, as opposed to getting a ticket by the health department afterwards.
I'm so glad you are the first politician come to us, teach us how to help for such a thing, because you as you know, a lot of small business, when they move to Houston, they really need this kind of basic help. For instance, somebody want to open a restaurant, but they don't know how to do it. Always has a lot of red tape, but your office could be definitely helping us to sort this red tape. Right.
And maybe I'm a little unique, because before I was a commissioner, I was a judge. And I had to hear a lot of cases of disputes between small businesses. But before I was a judge, I was a lawyer. And my clients were of international community and of the business community. And so that was my job, was to help small businesses get started. And to help them with their contracts, with their leases, with those things. And so those are things that we as the government can be here to help.
Another thing is that I thought you try to help our district create a cultural activity. What's it all about? Please let us know.
Oh, well, your parks and your arts are to a community like a lawn is and paint is to a house. We could all live in a cardboard box on the street corner, but that's not beautiful. And so one of the things that I feel is the legitimate function of county government is to provide beautiful parks. During the pandemic, people were stuck up. There was no place to go, but you could go outside into one of our many parks. We now have 64 parks. County
64 parks. Okay. Wow.
And one is a very beautiful one that is right very close to us, which is the Arthur Story Park, which is, in addition to being a beautiful park, is also a flood control facility. So when the waters rise, that park will fill up with water. And that's a good thing, because it's not filling up into our neighborhoods. But when it's not filled up with water, it's a beautiful place to go. And we are going to be on September 10th doing a groundbreaking for a beautiful Asian pavilion, which one of our local great architects, C.C. Lee, I think you know him. Is actually the designer of that, so that we can have a monument close to our Asian community that they can be proud of, so that when you're driving up and down Beltway 8 and you look over there, you can be proud of that. And there's some other things in the work too, to connect our parks to our communities, so that we can have exercise, so that we can breathe, so that we can be safe, so that it can be good for our hearts and our spirits.
Mr. Commissioner, such a great project. We really need it. We long overdue, I mean, you are the first commissioner to come to us, In the meantime, our community leader definitely going to work with you, see what kind of project we can co-sponsor a lot of things, including celebrate different kind of festival, like a Lunar New Year. We've been doing for the last 24 years.
I went to
a lot of things.
4 Lunar New Year events. Year of the Tiger.
I know.
And I should be going to even more. In fact, we're going to get a We're going to get a precinct for Lion Dance.
It's coming September 10th.
So very, very excited about that.
I'm just so glad. 各位观众，我们非常的荣幸今天能够采访到 Commissioner Cagle 到我们的摄影棚来，我们希望他的努力呢，跟我们的社区更为繁荣。Thank you so much, Mr. Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.